Here we go.
Hotter than a Shannon Sharp Instagram post. It is, of course, the Third and Long podcast. My name is the incomparable Shane Harris. Below me is my beautiful baby Hope. Bottom left is teacher extraordinaire, Mr. Philip Perrins. And to my right is the OG of the show, Oliver Butler Henderson. Gentlemen, we've only just come back. We've only just been gone. What's going on? What's going on? Baby, I'll start with you. How have the last 2 or 3 days been? You all right?
Honestly, I am very tired. And right now I've got the hiccups, but apart from that, I'm good.
No, top of the world, top of the world. Mr. P, I'll ask the question that the universe wants to know every week. What are you eating?
Custard creams and skimmed milk. Custard creams and a glass of milk.
I've literally just finished a gold bar.
Water's wet, grass is green, parents is eating on the pod. You know?
See what, a gold bar. Gold bars are underrated.
He's literally trying to be Santa here, eating milk and cookies.
Oh, we got, don't say the S word, we got 3 months yet. OBH, how's tricks, Matt? You all right?
Mate, I am dried off from a very wet training session tonight. It's literally, for the first 5 minutes of the session, it literally heavens opened and I got drenched. But yeah, apart from that, all good. How are you, Shane? How's life with you,
I'm all right, Bill. I'm all right. Not too bad, but not too bad. I got to meet up with my UK Ravens on Sunday to watch the Raiders game in Bristol. So if anybody want to pop along, Ravens fans, tickets are free. Just grab one, come along with us. They're a good bunch of boys. The only thing I will say is £5 a pint. It's expensive to go out and have fun these days. But yeah, other than that, but top of the world.
The 0-1 Ravens, them.
Yes, the 0-1 Ravens. Fuck you, yes.
Put your hands up if you want to know.
Oh my god! So I know I wasn't on Monday's pod, but like that Ravens last drive. Oh my god! All right, Shane? What was the deal with Lamar? Because he wasn't just that final pass; he was off all game.
You don't get to rip on me, right, because you weren't here Monday. These pair already basically banged me to rights, right, and I felt awful. They ripped me to bits, right? So that's all finished with now. All I'm thinking about is playing the spoiler to Minshew Mania on Sunday at M&T.
You know what? Right then, fine. Since you've already talked about Lamar, baby, how about them Niners?
I was literally about to go. So let's talk about Monday Night Football, but Mr. Bounce took it away from me. Go for it, gentlemen.
Jordan Mason, what a game. Brock Purdy played pretty well. Brandon Ayuk needs to go back to catching school.
Catching school?
That's what you get when you don't practice all off season.
Peyton Manning said the same. Peyton Manning with Brandon Ayuk, a new one actually.
Well, did I not say that though in the off season? Like anytime we've talked about this whole Brandon Ayuk thing, like just look back to like Bosa and Debo that sat out like the entirety of their preseason to get paid, and it massively affected their start. Ayuk's done the exact same thing. Like we haven't learned from these mistakes.
It didn't affect Trent Williams though.
No, but then Trent Williams is just a mountain of a man. He's like, I just need to block this person. Like,
it was the first time since 2022 he's allowed 0 quarterback pressures in a game.
Exactly.
But then again, Purdy was very rarely under pressure. Full stop.
Yeah, Purdy looked really.
Tell you what,
can we just say Jake Moody?
Yeah, this top 5 Jets defense didn't look very top 5. But I will say this:
it was incredibly good when Sauce Gardner was on the pitch, and then Sauce Gardner mysteriously vanished for like a dozen plays, and then you took them to the swords. Sauce Gardner is a top 5 defense.
Yeah, but once Sauce came back, we still carried on putting to the sword. We scored on 8 consecutive drives.
By the way, nice pink suitcase.
Thank you.
But I was going to say, right? Go on.
I was just going to say that I think week 1 was the best time to play the Jets, and I think we're lucky we played them then. And I think they will improve as the season goes on with Aaron Rodgers, because that one touchdown drive that they got, the first one, I was like, if they can replicate that, we're screwed.
Yeah. They
now
look
that you've
dry, like this
finished
time.
already satisfying Kyle Shanahan, can I have an honest assessment of the game, which is completely unbiased? Because I can't watch any Niners highlights unless they lose. In all honesty, as I said, it's like the evil empire. It's like Patriots 2.0. You know, it's like you can see why everyone hated United growing up because they were the successful team. Now I hate the Niners for the very same reason. They're like Bayern Munich, they're like Real Madrid. It's like cheating when you support them.
Well, the only
Yeah.
person that give an unbiased view of the game is Ollie.
Yeah. Come on, Buck. What do you see?
I can't give it unviewed bias because I hate the Jets as much as anyone else.
Okay, somebody tell
right,
me what
let's put
Jets
it
did
this way.
right.
Yes,
Not much.
there is going to be a lot of rust in this because Aaron Rodgers hasn't played in 360 odd days. Okay, in fact, it is a year today where he did his
Yeah, but
Achilles.
he also only played 4 snaps, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
Let me bloody finish, Pep. You said you wanted objective, non-biased opinions. I'm getting it.
Please.
The defense looks legit. It is week 1, and let's not go jumping on the bandwagons going, yes, they're going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to win. Oh, they're going to get number 1 picks because it's week 1 and teams are either incredibly shit or overachieving. And
Patriots.
we're in the middle. I understand.
Overachieving.
Right. Anyway.
I thought the Patriots looked good, to be fair.
Niners, yes. Brandon Ayuk missing all of off-season is going to affect it. It's going to take 3 or 4 weeks to get back where it is. Like it did with Debo. Like it did with Bosa. Jets without Harrison Reddick, I don't think they missed him that much.
Mm.
And
They
he's
had
gonna
no
see
pass.
this and
They had no pass rush though.
Yeah, but they still got a top 5 defense in that secondary. That secondary is a incredibly good secondary.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying the other night, they had no pass rush, and Hassan Reddick would have helped that.
They will fix that. I guarantee you Robert Saleh will fix that. So they will not miss Harrison Reddick. Harrison Reddick come in, if he comes back in, and will be an added bonus. Not be that guy. We looked better on the pass rush on Sunday night than we did majority of last season when we didn't have that player who's gone to Atlanta.
Judon.
Matthew
I didn't want to
Judon.
say his name.
I know you're not allowed to say his name, but we are.
I didn't want to say his name. He's there.
He's not Voldemort.
Picture of him there. Breaking my
Well,
heart.
say his name when he appears, and apparently in Atlanta they did.
If you say it
I
3
don't know.
times, something bad happens. So that's
I'm
okay.
not convinced. I'm not convinced he really appeared in Atlanta on the weekend.
Let's put it this way, right?
I
Teams adapt, especially in the NFL. They adapt incredibly well. So, put this into perspective. I said to the team I coached tonight and for training is that we've lost one of our best players for about 8 weeks through a hand injury. Broken his hand. He's out for a few weeks.
That's a horrible way to lose a goalkeeper.
No, he's not a goalkeeper. He's a bloody midfielder.
Oh, then cast it off and get on with the game like Jamie Vardy did.
Anyway, you want to put the ball down then, didn't he?
But
Yeah, Raul Jimenez literally had a whole career of just wearing a brace.
okay, let me bloody finish. What I'm trying to say is, you find a way to go around it and you adapt. And I said to these lads, okay, yes, we've lost this lad, but there's more than enough in the squad to cope without it. And teams work a way to cope without players. And Jets will find a way. We're dealing without Harrison Reddick.
Yeah.
And he will feel more and more useless every time 800 grand. He has to pay 800 grand fine for missing a game, for holding out. He's so stupid player, and he's probably wouldn't be surprised if he never plays in the NFL again. Kind of a situation.
I can see him being traded before the deadline.
So
You only just got traded to the Jets though.
yeah,
Yeah, but you know what it's like. Some people don't like to uproot the dressing room and cause mayhem, so they rather get rid of him instead.
okay. So week 1 is finished with 3 1-0, 0-1s, or 1-0s in this team, and someone lost. No, only once, mate. I mean, you
only
might
one,
make it 1-1.
only one so far.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's wait until Sunday night and then see.
so let's roll on to our plays of the week. Yes, we are bringing back plays of the week. So
Yes.
let's roll on to the clip of plays of the week. You've got about a minute to go make a cup of tea if you want.
Here, Ryan. On the one with Gosicki, an opportunity there for Hudson. Ball's popped free. It bounces right to Jones, who picks it up and takes it. You referenced earlier, the last time these two teams played, Marcus Jones had a 69-yard pick six.
Kyle Duggar with the punch out.
Yeah, the most interesting thing to watch is watch his right foot. It just slides right there. And then essentially hip square to the line of scrimmage. He launches this ball, Jason, 65 yards in the air. Perfectly thrown.
Turpin. Racing up the middle. Uh-oh! Kavontae Turpin needs one more block. He's got it! And he goes for the touchdown! Richardson over the middle. Caught by Ashton Doolin. He's got room to run. Doolin at the 10. 5. Touchdown!
So, for the people who can watch, yes, we did choose 2 Anthony Richardson plays for different reasons.
And yes, you did choose a Patriots one, Ollie.
Funny that.
Hey, it's a rarity. I very rarely choose it, unlike you two below me.
Yeah, we wouldn't pick
so-
the Patriots.
I took Carl Douglas punch out because it was a touchdown saving tackle. Punch out is a brilliant play. And then the 30-yard return by Marcus Jones. Shano took the punt return by the Cowboys kicker returner.
Turpin, yes.
Devonta, no, what was his name?
Kavontae
Turpin.
Turpin.
Devontae
That's it,
Turpin.
Devonta Turpin. Mr. Perrins, you took the absolute bomb. Literally,
No,
that looked like
I took the
No,
ball.
no. Baby did the bomb. I did the Dublin.
it looked like a cannon. It was like, phew, I've never seen a ball move so quick in the air. It was ridiculous. And Baby Hope took the 69-yard bomb. Gentlemen, I know why I've given mine. I took mine because it was a tackle. It was a touchdown saving tackle. Why did you take your plays, gentlemen? Mr. P.
Well,
I just want to talk about yours first. I actually thought watching that it was more on the Bengals receiver not having ball security because he just wasn't holding on to the ball. Like that was just such a ridiculous thing to do. I think it's a great play, but like I also think 70% of it was the fact that the Bengals player was not literally thinking about ball security as he's going across the line, especially as like 3 Patriots players are coming towards him. I think between like me and Baby and the whole game on the weekend anyway, it showed the best and the worst of Anthony Richardson. If you watch nearly all of his passing plays from the weekend, they're all ridiculous bombs that are 100 miles an hour. Yeah. And anything that was short, he wasn't hitting accurately and it was being batted down. But anything that was just like...
Down throws with him.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, but we've been to the Super Bowl unlike your quarterback. I just thought with mine, it's not just the pass, but it was also the next 2 things anyway. He had to catch it under pressure from the secondary. I think it was the strong safety, and then he had to take it past the free safety. So it wasn't just like the straight bomb. There was still 30 yards that he still had to walk into the end zone. I mean, it was kind of like in garbage time anyway, but it was still really, really impressive.
For mine, the way Richardson had 2 defenders in his face, and as they said on the thing, his foot slips and he has to screw up his hips, and then have 2 defenders in his face and still able to throw the bomb. And then it's a pretty good catch from the receiver too.
Yeah. It's literally over his shoulders, isn't it? It's a bucket catch. Going back to what you said about the Bengals player, we've both played ball. How are we taught to hold the ball?
Can't remember.
He's frozen. So, so Mr. Perrins
Oh,
is
yeah.
frozen.
Yeah,
So,
Literally tucked in.
3
like playing with
points,
his cat, I expect.
isn't it? 3 points. So 1, 2, and into your chest. You held it like
Yeah.
that, so it can't get punched out.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was out. And it's easy.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's easy to get punched out, but still, it was there to be played.
Oh, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think that's a great defensive play. I just think that the Bengals player helped that situation. Like either way, I mean, if he had a little bit of ball security, goes in with his with his shoulder down, possibly it's a touchdown. But he still massively messed it up. And it was it again. The Patriots. Which play was it?
Duggar.
So, but he still had to make the play and then get the ball 30 yards away from their end zone. I think that's really good, but I just think the ticking point was how poor that was from the Bengals play and how poor the Bengals were in general. Like I've watched the highlights multiple times since, and I'm blown away by how poor they've been.
Yeah, they were poor. I think it's a lot of it is Gesicki put the ball down. He obviously didn't want to score a touchdown against us. The end zone, but I think that was also a good play as well by the DB. But let's roll on to our players of the week.
Sound, don't worry, I didn't have a highlight. It's fine. You just carry on and just ignore me. That's completely
Oh
fine.
yeah, no, you did, didn't you? I thought we talked about it.
It's all right, boys. You know, let's be real. The loudest and best looking on this podcast, you completely overlooked me. Unbelievable. I know what the Ravens feel like now, overlooked in the league as well.
How?
So, firstly, let me just say I'm not surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers was next to Phil because it looks like he's in a dark cave at the minute. Secondly, Cavante Turpin's punt return. We all know, boys, it's a highlight of the game. A kick return, a punt return is an electrifying moment that everybody wants to see. And I'll take you back to the Ravens against the Chargers last season, where I was practically on the ceiling.
Wasn't it the
You know,
Rams?
Rams. I always make that mistake. Yeah, well, Rich Island Wallace made that return. It's an electrifying moment, and there was also a kickoff return for the first time in the history of the new kickoff rules this weekend, which one of us should have had, and none of us did. And I can't think who it was for the life of me.
Was it a Cardinal? Wasn't it?
I thought it was the Cardinals as well. I thought it was. But yeah, Cavante Turpin, fantastic. You know, fantastic punt return against the Browns, because I think the Browns are in purgatory again. And there's only been one game, but apparently Deshaun Watson's in more trouble again.
Yeah.
He'll be paying rent in a courtroom. He's there so much.
I'm not sure if any of you watched Selling Sunset, but he popped up on that in the new season, buying a house in LA.
Deshaun Watson did. Probably a safe house, I expect.
I bet he was like when we went to Mallorca on holiday. It would have been in Deshaun Watson's heaven because there were people offering massages. He would have right, Mr. Harris. Give us your player of the week, please.
Oh, I shall indeed. I'm going to go with, speaking of the Cardinals-Bills game, I'm going to go with the guy who dragged that game by the scruff of the neck, who's completely capable of doing that against any team. Number 17 for the Bills, none other than Josh Allen I'm going with.
Super player. Mr. Perrins.
I wasn't allowed to pick a franchise record setter because of my alleged biasness. But so for the listeners out there, me and Baby got banned from talking about our elite level MVP caliber players of the week, even though they are amazing for a reason. It's the equivalent to saying, like, in the Premier League, not that you would say Anthony, but like maybe like prime Wayne Rooney and not allowing him to be like in the team of the week selections or anything like that, or prime Bruno Guimaraes, prime Roy Keane or prime Paul Scholes. You're not allowed to mention
Jose Perez.
Yeah, it's fine, Pounds. I argued enough, so I can pick a niner this week.
So I actually picked another running back who I think was quality, even though he wasn't as good as the other running back that Baby picked, and that's Joe Mixon. I thought he was amazing.
Right. For clarity, Mr. Perrins picked Dick Moody.
Why did I
And
pick Moody though? Why did I pick Moody?
I'm
you
not.
Moody?
Yeah, but Chris Boswell. He
Fuck
could have
Chris
gone
Boswell.
Moody scored more points than Chris Boswell.
Did he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, he set a franchise record.
He scored 18.
Yeah, franchise record, and he also hit three 50+ field goals?
250 and 250 plus and 147.
Right. I'll tell you what. I'll put a poll out, and if
You already did. You already
No,
did put a poll there.
Yes, you did.
right, I'll put a poll out, and if it's yes, you could choose 49 players, and if it's no, tough luck. You're not allowed to choose another 49 players.
Actually, do you know what? Do you know what, though, baby?
Everyone
do you know
vote
what?
no.
Do you know what, Hendo? And I really, really mean this. I won't vote for a 49ers player all season. I promise you.
Clip it.
Right. I will say this now, and this goes for all of us because we all do it. We all have
I don't do it.
rose-tinted glasses when it comes to our players, especially when they play in purple and wear number 8.
No.
Some people think they're good quarterback when, but when they're actually a running back. I don't mind
Jesus.
it, but it's when it's the same bloody team every flipping week. It's like,
You were all personality as TB12.
Right. Baby Hope, who did you pick? No, you're on a little.
Okay, so I picked the 49ers running back, 28 carries, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, and his name is not Christian McCaffrey.
Is it Hiccup?
Yeah, very good. I have picked Jordan Mason because he didn't know he was starting until the day of the game, and he went and tore the Jets D a new one.
I hear that's not true. I heard he knew he was starting on Friday.
Yeah, but
Kyle said he didn't. Like, this is the thing.
Kyle says he didn't. I trust Kyle.
Yeah, I trust Kyle.
He's got a Achilles tendonitis. Fuck off. Right.
Fuck off.
Don't worry, Ollie. He'll be back for week 4.
That's right.
Unlike Puka Nakua, who's gone on to IR, which is very good for us week 3.
Can you guys stop talking about the news until the news segment?
We're doing the news? I think we've done the news.
Right. Fourth pick was myself. He is actually, with 43% of the vote, player of the week. So what we're going to do, over the 18 weeks, we're going to have a knockout through the end, over the playoffs, and the end of the season, there'll be player of the season. That way, voted from players of the week, but according to all the stuff. I haven't told these guys yet. I've just literally decided that as we're on air.
Breaking news.
So, I think he's going to be giving New York Giants a heartache for the next 3 years because this is what they are missing, and it is Saquon Barkley. Well, they're missing quite a lot.
So you think they're just missing a running back? Is that all you think they're missing?
They were perfect until that running back.
There's a lot of things Big Blue are missing.
Yeah, because they rely on Danny Pennies, isn't they?
After sitting in a stadium last year, watching them against the Rams, they're not going to last long. Those fans are
It's the German fans I feel sorry for. Panthers against Giants. Good Lord.
Gotcha. Right.
What's the worst atrocity to happen in Germany for a long time?
It's the biggest thing that's happened to Germany in a long time.
Yeah.
Right. Let's roll on to this week's News in 60.
This is the
News in 60.
Echoing, yeah.
So, yeah, as it says, News in 60. So let's start with the Super Bowl. Yes, I know we've only just completed week 1 of the regular season, but that doesn't stop the NFL announcing their halftime performer of the Super Bowl. This season, it will be multi-Grammy hip-hop artist Kendrick Lamar. At least that makes one Lamar to perform in the Super Bowl this season. Oh, no.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Ask a question. What does Kendrick Lamar do?
He's a hip-hop artist.
He's a rapper.
Did he sing anything I would know?
No.
Did he do anything with like Metallica or anything good?
No.
Okay, sorry.
You know, Shane, people are allowed to like other types of music.
Are they? Oh, don't say that. Jesus Christ.
They don't all need to like Metallica.
They should if they got any sense and taste. But oh my God, my chest. I didn't know that. Sorry, baby. My apologies.
Right. With
Like,
season
people are allowed like
swing-
Taylor Swift too.
No, they're not.
Where's that mute button? Right. With the season in full swing, it hasn't stopped teams and players doing deals. Literally hours before the Cowboys started their season against the Cleveland Browns, their starting quarterback agreed to deal to make him the highest paid player in the league with a 4-year deal worth $240 million. Dolphins carried extending players as Jalen Ramsey signed a 3-year deal worth $72.3 million. Steelers titan Pat Freiermuth, I always say that name wrong, has agreed a new 5-year deal worth $49 million. Chiefs have extended another tight end, but this time it isn't Kelsey. It's tight end 2 Noah Gray to a 3-year deal worth $18 million. Deshaun Watson's in trouble again, being sued again for another sexual or alleged sexual incident again. Now, let's talk about injuries. Now, there's one injury that's going to make two 49er fans very happy. Puka Nacua has been entered on IR by the Rams. The Cardinals have placed starting right tackle Jonah Williams on IR. So that's 2 players they are happy to be out. Jordan Love sprains his MCL, which puts him up to 6 weeks out. Cowboys titan Jake Ferguson has also sprained his MCL, but is not believed to be as bad as Jordan Love's. The Browns have placed David Njoku on IR with an ankle injury. And finally, I don't know if people have seen this, but the NFL's average viewing for the per game on the Sunday was 21 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Highest week 1 games average viewing per game.
The sport is growing. The sport is growing, and on the news with regarding injuries, the football gods, make their claim to injuries every week. There's always someone going down with something. I think Njoku was a big loss for the Browns. Also, I think Jake Ferguson is a big loss for me because he's my starting tight end in fantasy. But at least I can stick in Isaiah Likely now. But yeah, that's terrible. And of course, Jordan Love being injured is basically going to mess the Packers' next 6-7 games up. That could potentially decide this season.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going to roll with either Malik Willis or apparently they're in talks with Tannehill as well. I didn't mention it in the news, but we cannot talk about Tyreek Hill and his incident 2 hours before the game kicked off with the police officer.
From what I've seen,
I've
it's the
seen-
police officer that's mainly in the wrong, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's been stopped for speeding. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. We all get stopped speeding. Yep. Naughty boy. But
Do
the
we
way
all
it-
get stopped?
Yeah, I've never
No,
been
we
stopped
don't.
for speeding. I've never been done for speeding.
I've had a
Yeah,
couple-
I've never been done either. Like,
I might have been on a course or two.
Yeah, in a Flintstones car.
Yeah, but the way it suddenly escalated out of control, and it's like, right, if this guy wasn't Tyreek Hill, say it was just Joe Bloggs, and it happened to him, would we be talking about it the same way? Would the situation de-escalate so much because there was Dolphins players there and Dolphins staff there, stopping this from escalating even more? I think Calais Campbell was one of them.
Yeah,
Yes, he
didn't
was. He
Calais
was
Campbell
as
end
well.
up in handcuffs too?
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And he's a giant of a man.
But why did the police have to escalate this so quickly? It's
Because
because
they're
they
trying-
knew who it was and they wanted to make a scene of him.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Sensationalism.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the guy needs to have. I mean, yes, he's been put on administrative leave, but I don't think that's enough.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
Apparently, he tried to apologise, Tyreek, and Tyreek has refused and said he wants him sacked.
Yeah, too bloody right. Sack him. Get him sacked. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think?
As we said, as you said, where's he going now? It's like
I'm
watching
just moving.
VHS. It's like watching VHS when he moves his phone for you horror buffs out there. Yeah, I think it's terrible because, as we said, it is sensationalism. It is, oh, look at me, I'm the cop that arrested Tyreek Hill. I done this, I done that. It's all about making yourself look the big I am and having stories to tell to your friends and having a claim to fame. But now, his only claim to fame is going to be on the unemployment line.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen so many or heard of so many black people that have lost their lives to the hands of police. George Floyd, Bianca, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but there's so many black people that have lost their lives to police overreacting and going to the gun straight away. We see videos all the time of like literally any kind of like hostility or even them just saying no or not doing with the police. Their hands are straight on the gun straight away. And the fact that they literally dragged him out of the car and he's going, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then they're telling him to stop crying like a bitch.
Wow.
And then literally he's forcing him down to go. He goes, dude, I've not long had surgery on my knees. Dude, come on.
Yeah, they easily could have injured him.
Exactly. And they would be in shit. I mean, we've all seen the jokes. There's actually Shaheed Khan under there trying to get him arrested. But yeah, I think it's absolutely stupid. And
Phil, can you not do that? It's positively too sexy for a Thursday night. Come on.
What do you mean? What?
What do you mean? Wow.
he's tearing off the car.
I have no idea what you just said there. So I'm literally listening to what you're saying, and then Shane, I didn't even catch what you said, Shane.
I said, can you not? That is too sexy for a Thursday night.
Sorry.
Right. Derek Carr. No, not Derek Carr. Dak Prescott, even.
Oh my God, Dak.
Overpay.
It was always going to be the case, though, wasn't it? Soon as Stewart got his, soon as Jordan Love got his, soon as Trevor Bankfield, ridiculous. Trevor Lawrence got his.
Trevor Bankfield, I like that.
Have you not seen that?
No, that's funny.
This weekend they are calling it Trevor Bankfield.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously. Mr. P.
Oh my God, TK's on
I
drugs.
just
we know.
This actually really, really surprises me. I don't know how anybody else feels about it. I genuinely thought that Jerry was going to let Dak go in the off season and either try and get him on a cheaper contract or just let him go, because that team is peaking just like other teams around the NFL, without mentioning names, but like you're paying quite a lot of big time players big time contracts, and in the salary cap era, Dak is going to be eating an obscene amount of that percentage. And Dak is like Baby said, it's overpaid, but like he's never done anything. Like what is Dak's biggest achievement? That he replaced Tony Romo?
Yeah.
Sorry? The Walter Payton Man of the Year?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was worth 60 million a year. I'm not knocking you, baby, but like he's not done anything. Like anytime he's come across decent opposition, he's folded. He has capitulated before the Cowboys have even got to an NFC Championship game. Like where's the furthest he's ever been? Like the divisional rounds?
Yeah.
It's probably Jerry's ethos of once a cowboy, always a cowboy.
And then you call a quarterback draw with 14 seconds to go.
Yeah, and you just look at it. I don't know off the top of my head which quarterbacks would be potentially available next off season that they could go for. And I know the quarterback draft class next year isn't as super strong, and there's no guarantee the Cowboys would be able to land a top prospect unless they properly tank this year. I just don't think he's worth it. And it just blows my mind that Jerry, in his senile old age, is putting that much capital into a quarterback that has always proven that he can't get it done.
The issue is now they've got to pay Mika.
Yeah, exactly.
And how are they going to do that? And then, because they've just spent shitload of money on CeeDee Lamb, shed ton of bloody on Dak Prescott. That's 80 something million a year gone on two players.
And
you've only got 230 million to play on the rest of
Zach Martin's got a massive contract too.
Who has?
Zach Martin.
Yeah.
The guard.
starting centre.
Yeah.
Right guard.
Right guard. No, yeah, right guard.
Or was it left
Right,
guard?
yeah.
One of the guards.
Madden says centre.
I mean, they're paying a lot of money. I mean, the best teams are the teams that, yes, play a star quarterback enough to want him to stay, and then build the squad around him with veterans who aren't as superstars as they are, or the rookies that are coming out like Xavier Worthy and Pacheco and Rice and people like that. That's how you build a franchise. New England did incredibly well for 2 decades, and now we're seeing Kansas do that kind of model as well. Are you guys going to be the next ones going to be able to do that kind of model?
Well, we're
And
already
yes.
paying a lot of people a lot of money.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah.
This is their year. This is going to be their year.
Some hard decisions are going to need to be made next off season in San Francisco.
Completely. Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting off season again. But we've got week 2 to talk about first. So let's roll on to week 2. Obviously, our prediction games we'll talk about in depth in a minute. But is there any of the games that take your fancy, gentlemen?
I need to have a look first. Hold on. Let me just
In which case, I will take the floor while Mr. P looks
Go
at the
for it,
games.
mate.
There's one that sticks out to me, and boys, I'm not just saying this due to personal bias. I'm saying this because it involves a show favourite, and it also involves one of our teams. Obviously, Minshew Mania rolling into M&T Bank Stadium to take on the Ravens. That's going to be a very interesting game because obviously, in any other circumstance, I would want Minshew Mania to run wild, but not Sunday, not this time. What I did see when they played the Chargers, I forgot they signed Christian Wilkins from the Dolphins. He's an absolute game wrecker. He's an animal. So you have him. It'd be interesting to see how he and Max Crosby do against the Ravens defensive line and obviously Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? That's going to be an interesting thing to watch. And again, how will our O-line sort of struggle? How will our wide receiver struggle? Will Mark Andrews get more catches? It's going to be a very, very interesting game, you know, and I think we'll win because I think, you know, like on paper, we're better. But as always, as the expression goes, football games are not played on paper. Go on, baby.
I'm not going to talk about the Niners, but I am going to talk about 2 teams in the NFC West because the Cardinals are facing off against the Rams in Arizona. And I'm actually excited because I think Arizona might actually knock off the Rams.
Ooh.
It depends if they get Marvin Harris Jr. at the ball.
Yeah,
4 yards, 1 reception, 4 yards. Well done.
I quite enjoyed Kyler's comment of it's not my job to get Marvin Harrison Jr. as the ball. Then whose is it?
It's his job.
Shit.
I mean, that was taken out of context. I will admit. What he was saying was, I'm going through my progressions, and I'm not just going to throw the ball to him because it's Marvin Harrison Jr., but you can take it out of context and him saying, it's not my job to give Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball.
Definitely.
But I think Arizona could just run the ball down the Rams' throat with James Conner and Trey Benson and Kyler, kind of like how the Lions did, and could win the game.
Mr. Pate?
Packers Colts, just having a quick look at it's a Jordan Loveless Green Bay taking on an Anthony Richardson that's is getting into his groove. It's going to be a really, really interesting test for the Colts, who by their own admittance are still in a rebuilding mode, but they look really good against the Texans. And I think even though it was a losing effort, I thought they were a little bit shortchanged by. The other one is one that I'm quite excited about because there's a chance for either the Chiefs to lose or the Bengals to go 0-2, and that is Chiefs against Cincinnati, Burrows versus Mahomes. And it was only a couple of years ago where we thought the only one that was good enough to take down Mahomes in the big game was Joe Burrows, and that was 2 years ago, and he was very much not much.
It was back then.
It was Burrowhead, wasn't it? Burrowhead Stadium.
Yeah, and that almost seems like a decade ago now. And they're really poor against the Patriots. and this is going to be like another wake up call because they could find themselves in deep water by week 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be war in this house because my kids are Bengals and Chiefs fans. But yeah, I mean, I agree. The Bengals looked shocking against us,
Yeah,
and the Chiefs looked, sorry, Shane, ridiculously good against you.
Did they though?
Xavier Worthy is literally going to eat that secondary apart, 100%. And
Yeah.
their run defense wasn't very good. Mondre doesn't get 100 yards very often, and he did it. There is another game I'm really looking forward to. And it was a playoff game last year. It's the Lions against the Bucks. I think that's Baker Mayfield looked so good. And I bet Cleveland are now regretting trading him away.
Let's just remember they were playing the Commanders.
Agreed.
Or actually, Commanders Giants is going to be sick.
No,
But we'll talk about that
I'm
later.
not going to do that. I was going to say we got a Tank Bowl already, and the tickets are as low as $9.99. Unreal.
Tank Bowl is happening in Germany, mate.
Tank Bowl, yeah, it's more than one.
It should be a Lions walk. It should be a Lions win in Detroit Field. It should be. That's ridiculous in there. They are so loud in there, but you can't shy away from how good the Buccaneers are on that one. Right, roll on to prediction games. We are back doing this. We started last week. Baby Hope, as he chose this week's games, but going for the standings, we have Baby Hope with 4 points. Myself and Perrins on 3, and Shano's already trailing behind.
It's early.
Starts already, mate. It starts already. So this week's games were chosen by Baby Hope. Give us the game, my friend.
So I took the Thursday night games of the Bills versus Dolphins. I run Browns versus Jags, quite an even game. Jets versus Titans, and the Steelers versus Broncos, which was almost the Russell Wilson revenge game, except Justin Fields been named the starter.
Right. Let's start with the Thursday night game. Shano, as you're the last, would you like to go first?
Firstly, stop referring to me as last. I'm just not winning, okay? Right. I'm going to go with the Finns. I'm going to go with the Finns because Josh Allen dragged the Bills to that win last week against, admittedly, a decent Cards team, but the Cards are still not one of the powerhouses of the NFL. But I'm going with the Finns to win, mainly because they won me £27 last week. So I don't win bets very often. So yeah, go Finns.
Parents.
Oh God, I'm going to go Finns.
Okay. Any reason?
I don't know. Like I was thinking about this earlier when I was re-educating with our picks for the week, and I've just think like you said, like Josh Allen dragged the Bills in the second half to a victory, whilst I do just think Miami just have the more complete team. Like, I mean, you don't count prime Josh Allen out, but like he's historically been very sketchy at the beginning of seasons where he's not played well. He's thrown a lot of picks. I mean, he looked good last week, but the team around him didn't look as strong. And I just think Miami just have a little bit more oomph about them. So that's kind of the gist.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree with both of you. I agree that, Josh Allen literally dragged that team to victory last week. But the one big difference is Tua. Imagine if Josh Allen was in Miami. That team would be unstoppable. It would be unstoppable. Yes, okay, Miami have got the better passing weapons, which makes Tua look so much better than he actually is. But there's your issue, Tua. If someone had those two guys in front of me and said, choose one of your quarterbacks, it'd be Josh Allen 100%. In fact, I'll take 30 other quarterbacks, 29 other quarterbacks, because I wouldn't take Daniel Jones or Bryce Young over Tua. I'm going to go for I'm going for Bills. Baby.
I'm going to agree with my fellow OG and take the Buffalo Bills because I wasn't that impressed by the Finns last week against not that good Jacksonville team.
Oh, I can't wait to be top of the prediction board this week.
So that takes us quite nicely onto the Jags Browns game. Shano.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns were just awful. The fans in Cleveland were booing Deshaun Watson and the rest of his team off the field. I mean, the Jags, the Jags probably would have beat the Dolphins if I think ETN didn't lose the ball on the 1 yard line or something like that. That would have swung the momentum, and that was a game-changing play. That changed everything.
You love to bang on about 1 yard fumbles, don't you? You love to bang on about it.
Wow. But I don't know what you mean. I mean, there was one in the Pats Bengals game last week, and that's all I know about. I don't know what else you're talking about.
The next thing is going to be touching the white line.
We don't touch the white line around here. Anyway, yeah, right. Anyway. Yeah, I'm going for Trev and the Jags. I think Christian Kirk is due a game, and I think didn't Brian Thomas Jr. impress me as well? Yeah, I'm going for the Jags.
Parents.
Oh God! Oh, I really want to say Cleveland. I really want to say Cleveland.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I do. But actually, I'm going to go Jags. I am going to say Jags.
Okay. Baby?
Cleveland looked really poor against the Cowboys. I'm taking the Jags.
Yeah, good boy.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a clean sweep. Yes, that Buffalo, Cleveland defense is pretty good. You know, it should be a top 10 defense, top 5 defense, even in the league. But when you've got Deshaun Watson, who, in fact, I'm now going to go 3 quarterbacks. I would take 2. I'd take over no one else. Deshaun Watson.
What about Gardner Minshew?
I'll take Gardner Minshew. I'll take Gardner
Minshew. Exactly.
What about Jacoby Brissett?
Take him too.
Yeah, I'll take him over Tua.
Wow. We're trying to over.
We're not going to name all 32 starting quarterbacks.
What about 77-year-old Terry Bradshaw?
Yes. I heard someone say I was listening to someone else's show, and I can't remember. I think it might have been Baldwin and Big Fella. In fact, it was Baldwin and Big Fella.
I was going to say the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And they were saying that Tom Brady was in the box, and he was
bad.
He would probably play better than Deshaun Watson would, and Brady's been retired for a year. But yeah, I'm going for Jags. I just didn't see enough of that Cleveland team to say, they're going to turn around and beat a good Jacksonville team. So I'm going for the Jags. Next game is Jets versus Titans. Let's go with Shano again.
I don't believe in the Titans. I'm sorry, Will Levis. I think they've been sold a bill of goods to Will Levis. I mean, maybe he'll come into his own one day, then again, maybe he won't, but I just don't see it with them. And I think Rodgers and that vaunted Jets defense will just be too much. I'm going Jets.
Yeah. Shana, parents, sorry, I've done Shana.
Jets. I'm gonna go Jets.
Baby Hope?
Jets.
Yes, good boy.
Okay, we're gonna make it a clean sweep. Yeah, I mean,
wow.
That Jets defense, which is a good defense, will eat Will Levis alive, especially if he makes throws like he did for the pick 6 against Cleveland, against Chicago.
Ollie, just before we go into the last game,
yep.
How did you do in Ian's prediction league
10
last week? I went 14-2.
Well done, mate.
Moving on.
I don't know what I can do with price bet, but okay. Last game, Steelers Broncos. Shano, go with us first, mate.
I have to. If I say that, you know exactly who I mean. It's all about towel twirling, stupid people. Yeah, I'll go with those.
Why?
I hate the bastards. Go on.
Okay. Parents.
I think Broncos fans are going to get used to this particular saying. Bo Nix, pick 6. I think the Steelers are going to take this. I just don't believe
Oh.
I see what you did.
Oh man, that's so bad, baby.
Yet again, I'm going to agree with these two esteemed gentlemen and take the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow,
Wow,
the first time I've been called gentleman in a long time. Thank you.
I'm gonna buck the trend. I've read something this week that Arthur Smith didn't allow Jordan Fields to throw down the middle of the field. He was only allowed to throw out wide.
Would you allow Justin Fields to do it instead?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I can believe him not picking Jordan Fields, but what about Justin?
All right, Justin Fields then. Over the middle. He had to throw out wide, out the numbers. The Broncos cornerbacks are incredibly good. Pat Surtain's one of the best in the league. If you're throwing out towards that way, you're going to get in trouble. And I just think, I think both of the quarterbacks in Pittsburgh are really bad. And they will be looking to take one in the draft this year, I think. And I do think that Bo Nix will come good. I don't think he's going to be wow Bo Nix this week, but he is going to improve. And I think it's enough to beat Steelers. So I'm going with Broncos.
Hendo is a believer.
I hope you're right. He is a believer. Yes, well done. I hope you're right, boy.
Really? I didn't see it when they drafted him. I didn't see it in the off season. I didn't see it the weekend. I don't really think Bo Nix is all that. Like,
I agree with you, Phil. I don't think he's that good.
I just don't. Like,
they reached for him.
Yeah.
I like what they've done with the playbook and how they've brought in some of the Oregon style plays to make it comfortable for him. They've got reasonably good wide receiving core. Not wow, but they've got a reasonably good wide receiving core. They've got a good run team as well.
JJ was still on the board though. JJ was still on the board.
Yeah, now JJ's in a hospital bed.
Well, he's on a rehab bed, but yeah. I mean,
yeah, you get my point.
I just don't. I think if you had the chance, you would take Bo Nix over definitely Russell Wilson and possibly Justin Fields. Anyway, Mr. Harris, it is over to you with your Shano
thank you very much. Yes, welcome once again to the Shano special segment of the show. Obviously, as we always say, please do gamble responsibly. But I have been looking through the NFL odds, bits and pieces, to see if I could get, us to win a couple of quid. Not just ourselves, but obviously the viewers and listeners at home. The first one I'm going for is a bit of a show treat. I might try and incorporate this every week, if we can. So I'm going for wins for my beloved Baltimore Ravens. I'm going for wins for the Niners and wins for the Pats. Just a bit of a third and long bet. That is currently 16-5 with Sky Bet. So I think that's not. Yeah, I think that's decent because, as we said, I think the Ravens will beat the Raiders. Bias, aside, I genuinely think we're a better team. The Niners will probably beat everyone without question. They probably, them and the Chiefs are two top teams in the league. As much as my heart hurts to say that, it is absolutely true. You can't argue with facts. And again, with the Pats being this wild card at the moment, where they beat the Bengals in the dirt last week, what's to say they can't do it against the Seahawks? So yeah,
I think they'll beat the Seahawks. I really do. I wasn't that impressed with Seattle at all, and I think I said in the off season, I think the Patriots will be a very, very mid-level team. I think you'll have a pretty good rebuild season, and I think you'll beat the Seahawks.
I think Seattle are going to win.
Yeah, but you would. I know why you're saying that as well.
Hang on.
So yeah, on to my next bet then, right? Boys, on to my next bet. It does include the Vikings-Niners game. So, baby, being you and Phil are the resident Niner experts on the show, but I know you were a bit more bookmaker savvy, shall we say? Sky Bet are doing Sam Darnold and Purdy 250 plus passing yards each at 7-2. What do you think of that?
I don't like it.
No. Okay. Well, I think Sam Darnold played well last week. He shocked some people.
I'm not convinced either of them are going to get there, though.
You don't think Purdy will do it either?
No.
Okay.
Purdy won't need to. Purdy
didn't against the Jets. He didn't get anywhere close.
Yeah.
I just think they're going to murder the Vikings. I just think they're going to murder the Vikings because Vikings have got one or two good players. JJ and who else? Daniel Hunter's gone now.
Jordan Addison's questionable.
Exactly, and this is only his second year. He's not a superstar. Who'd you have? I think Purdy's going to murder him. So as I said,
Aaron Jones isn't bad.
Aaron Jones is a journeyman who basically pissed on his legacy with Green Bay to go to one of their biggest rivals just for the cash. Come on,
almost
yeah.
as good as
It's not exactly like the only one that's done that. Like Jim McMahon won the Super Bowl. I'll say like Jim McMahon won a Super Bowl for Chicago, and then he went to Green Bay as a backup and won a Super Bowl. Like he's not the only player that's done this. Like the Minnesota Green Bay, I wouldn't say like player feud isn't as strong as say the Chicago Green Bay feud. I think that's a lot more intense.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get you.
It'd be like if like Jay Cutler had left instead of going elsewhere, he went to bloody Green Bay instead. That would have been pretty intense.
God, yeah.
As I said, that one's a little bit subjective, but it's 7-2 either way. Sorry, OBH, continue.
That's fine. Any more for it, mate?
Yes, just one more, and I'm going to go back to the Ravens game because, of course, I am. LJ with 50 plus rushing yards and 1 plus anytime touchdown is 3-1. As we saw against the Chiefs, he was again playing the role of Josh Allen, trying to drag that offense to something. So I think that's pretty good. What do you think?
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. I think that's really good. 50 plus rushing yards and 1 plus anytime touchdown. I might have to check a couple of quid on that one myself.
Okay, cool. Nice. So, Mr. Perrins asked about it. Now, I'm just wondering if he's awake enough for us to talk about the Brit Bowl.
We can talk about the Brit Bowl if you want. My mind's a little bit hazy about it. Like, have you noticed, like, my eyes have gone really red, like, too much.
I could just see that, yeah.
So basically, Brit Bowl Sunday, it was an amazing day. It was brilliant to just like be there, see the teams that played on the Saturday turn up as well. Great D1 game between Nottingham and Rushmore. It was very, very one-sided in Nottingham's favour. But the Rushmore Knights did a really, really good job. And massive props to them to try and make it at least competitive until the halfway mark. I was, if I'm being honest, a little bit disappointed with the Premier League game between the Bristol Aztecs and the London Warriors. No, not the Warriors, the Olympians. No, Warriors? I think it was the Warriors. I can't remember. The London teams all merged into one after the Blitz. I know that's actually a name of the team, by the way, the London Blitz, not because I'm old. Sorry, because there's so many London-based teams. So basically the story into this is going into essentially the semi-finals of the Brit Bowl. The Manchester Titans, who had been undefeated and the best team in Britain for about 3 years and one of the best teams across Europe for about the same time, got knocked out to the Bristol Aztecs, which was a huge upset. It's the equivalent to if Coventry City would have knocked out Man United in the semi-finals last year of the FA Cup.
Did again. What a surprise!
No, but like to make it relevant to like you guys who don't necessarily know the Brit Bowl scene like I do. That's kind of the level that we're talking at here.
I know where you're on about because that's big. Because I played against the Aztecs.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking the Aztecs, but like the Titans were playing European ball. Okay, so when it basically came, the Aztecs, even though they'd knocked out the champions of the country, they were still going into it as massive underdogs because of just how insanely large these London-based teams are. Like last year when the Warriors got to the Brit Bowl, they had an infinitely bigger team than the Titans. The Titans probably had a solid 48, 49 roster on the sideline. The Warriors literally had 53 right there on the sideline, like the huge numbers. And the Aztecs just didn't have the depth needed. So that was, again, relatively competitive till about like the midway point. Really, really good effort. It just seemed like every single year, BAFA literally make the event bigger and better, and the production gets bigger and better. I've got a ex-Royals colleague that works for them, and he was doing the scores on the score box for both games over the weekend. So massive shout out to Pinky. It was just a really, really great event, and just filled with like fans of not just like both teams, but just NFL fans. The amount of jerseys that I saw rocked up there. My mum and dad came down and they enjoyed it as well. So it was really, really great to see them. And I'll tell you one thing. I had like this itch to go like, oh, I could continue playing if I wanted to. Like, and I'm just sitting there going, yeah, I could keep going. Like, I honestly, I could keep going. And then you just see like this parade of like people coming in that played on the Saturday games, and they're like on crutches, they're in braces, they're literally limping and going, no, I'd still have to teach on Monday morning. There's no way I can do that anymore. But yeah, it was a really, really great event. And I know I said it the last couple of years, guys, but like I really wanted to, like 2025, third and long, we get properly present there, just to try and get our names out there and to support the British infrastructure, because there were some great players that do play in our Brit Bowl.
So I know a guy who I used to play with actually at the Black Knights, who is one of the coaching staff of Sandwell Steelers, who lost.
Oh yes,
they lost.
Yes,
14-0. So yeah, he's a Bucks fan. Slick is his name. He's one of the coaches at Sandwell. So yeah, they were gutted, but yeah, they got there in the end of the day. And how many teams can say they got there that are outside the big ones?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like when you think about like the levels that are in Brit Bowl, and obviously there's no pay, so all these players are doing it for the love of the game. And normally you can tell when you go from like Premier League, Div 1, Div 2, you can sometimes see the difference in quality. But like when you just watch defensive play schemes, offensive play schemes, like even quality play from like the running backs, the wide receivers, even the quarterbacks, it's very hard to tell sometimes in some of the games that you're watching a particular level, especially in the Premier League game. Jesus wet, man. The quarterback play was fantastic. Some of the bombs, the tight spirals, it was just phenomenal to watch. And even the women's game as well on Saturday, because this is the first year that they've gone from 7-on-7s to 9-on-9s. And just to see that sport grow, and you see like sidelines full of like female padded American footballers. Don't forget, America doesn't even have a female contact league until next year. We already have our own. So that's amazing to see that we are actually progressing in the female spectrum as well. And also, just off topic very, very quickly, the men's under-21 flag, they won bronze at the World Championships that weekend, and the under-17 boys won gold in the World Championships as well. So we are smashing it, looking ahead to the Olympics in 2028.
Nice. Mr. Harris, you have something to say.
Yes, very briefly. There's only one of us on this podcast who would look like they would be born on Friday the 13th, which happens to be tomorrow, by the way. Anybody care to guess which one of our fine selves would be born on Friday the 13th? I'll give you a clue. It's not the Welsh one. It's not the baby one. It's not the veteran of the show. Yes, it's Elvira's favourite son. Happy birthday for tomorrow, my old buddy, Mr. P. How old are we tomorrow, bud?
I don't want to say live on air, but it begins. I have a Dorian Gray complex. The older that I get, the younger I try to make myself look. So,
happy
birthday, Mr. P.
Thank you ever so much. Thank you,
mate. I'm just going really here, so don't worry about it.
I'll sort you out when I see you.
Excuse me.
Oh, he looks like a tiny Tom Crisp already. He's gone.
I have. I've got the same colour as my 49ers jersey. Like it's. You're making me blush, mate. You're making me blush. By the way, in my garage, I've still got that massive crate of Strongbow that you bought with you last time you came down. Like,
keep it there. It's not going to go to waste. I'm going to show you.
I know. Gemma said the same thing. She was like, "Oh, should we get rid of it?" Like, nah, just keep it for when Shay gets down. Like, he'll put it on his breakfast. Like, it'll be fine.
Christ, you know me, man.
Right.
It wouldn't surprise me if Shane had Strongbow with his cereal for breakfast.
I had to walk 2 miles to get a crate today. 2 miles. Disgusting. And it was raining. I digress.
You know the moral of the story is drink proper bloody cider.
I do.
Yeah. You don't, mate. You don't. It's the equivalent to drinking fizzy cat urine. Yours is like for Strongbow.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's true. Because I drink proper booze.
Wait,
Right.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always for tuning in and watching us rant on of random shit. I'm trying to make it so Mr. Parents doesn't have anything sexual innuendo about it because he's, but yeah.
You want to go to bed, he does.
Yeah, I know.
I do that. Look, I'm in my gym jams. I'm already in bed under the covers. Like,
Oh, God, but that's proper third long after dark. That is.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for always listening, tuning in. We'll be back on Monday in your eyes and Tuesday in your ears. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe and good night.
Go Ravens.